And we're live today. We're going to be going to a tiny little country. It's called Brunei or Brunei, and it's actually split into two pieces. So if you look over there in the top right hand corner, there's a smaller section and then the bigger section broken into two pieces there. Laura says, yeah, not a place I've ever seen. Looking forward to it. So this tour is going to... Oh, hi Tish. Hi Catherine. This tour we're going to be getting to know the main city in Brunei, and we're also going to be going on a beautiful boat ride through the mangroves. And I'm really excited to take you there. So the first part is we'll jump on a boat and go through the beautiful mangroves, and then in the second half we will walk through the main town of Brunei. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's begin, and we'll start straight away. So this is one of the top things to do in Brunei when you come to the main town. Welcome Carly, welcome Laura, Susan, Tish and Catherine. And if you can see that, if you look in the distance down on the left hand side, there's a building that is actually the palace of the Sultan, but I'll tell you about that as we continue. Let's begin. This is going to be the first. I'm breaking this story into today's story into two sections. The first is the boat ride, and the second part is going to be walking around the capital, walk around. So let's begin. So Brunei is an independent Islamic sultanate on the northern coast of the island of Borneo. So I went to visit Borneo, and I was in Kota Kinabalu, which is in the Malaysian section of Borneo, and I saw the tickets to visit Brunei were really cheap. And I've always wanted to go to Brunei because I know it's one of the smallest countries in Asia, and so I jumped at the opportunity to be able to experience the coming here. So yeah, it's bounded in the north by the South China Sea, and on all the rest of the sides by East Malaysia, state of Sarawak. This is all in the area of Borneo, which so Eastern Malaysia, Borneo, divides the state into two disconnected segments of an equal size. The western segment is the larger of the two and contains the capital city that we'll be walking through today. Brunei achieved independence in 1984, having been a British protectorate since 1888. It is also a Commonwealth member and a member of ASEAN, or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Now, it's a very small country, and its population is only 455,400 people. So very small, but also a very young population. Tish is saying, I'm very geographically challenged and I thought Brunei was in the desert. Yeah, it's in Borneo, so it is very hot, but it's also very tropical. And here you can see, this is one of the top tourist things to do in the town. It costs about around $30 US. The Brunei currency is stronger than the US dollar, so it's probably cost more, maybe $35 US to do this boat trip, but amazing way to experience the beautiful nature here in Brunei. I'm just going to share a little story quickly. So, of course, the country is so small, and you just walk around and you meet all the tourists, and you meet all the tour guides. And I met a really nice tour guide, and we actually stayed at the same accommodation, which was quite funny. But after this boat ride, we went and he invited us. It was at that time where everybody in the Muslim world is fasting, and probably like one of the most touching and amazing experiences was to be able to go to the main mosque in the city center and break fast with them. For me, that was a highlight of being in Brunei. So the reason why people go on this boat trip is because of the proboscis monkeys and the wildlife that you can see. You're going to see crocodiles. So have a look. We also see animals in the main town as well. Now, it's pretty much hot all year round in Brunei. It's governed by the equatorial monsoon winds. So the northeastern monsoon typically blows from December to March, and the southwest monsoon blows from May to September. So temperatures throughout the year are quite warm. Here we're going to look, I think we've spotted the proboscis monkeys. Can you see them? We're going to get a better look at them. So what I did is on our walking tour around which we're going to do today as well, of Brunei, we're going to see them up close, because I saw them in the city center. They were just in Hey Elizabeth. So here we're getting a nice look at them in the nature, but we're also going to see them in the main city as well. Now, Brunei is actually a very rich country, and that's because they discovered oil. Just actually I think it was two British men. Like at one point, they knew there was oil here, and about 6 different companies from across the world came, and then like 4 out of the 5 gave up, and then there were 2 British guys that worked for, I think it was BP, and then they were cycling across the beach, and they smelt the smell of the oil, and they were the ones to discover the oil. Oh, there we go, a nice close up of the endangered proboscis monkeys. Hey, Neil and Diane, welcome. We're going to get a nice close up of them when we do our walking tour of the town after this boat ride. So what's amazing about Brunei, even though they cultivate all this oil, it's a beautiful country. So about 3/5 of the country is covered with virgin tropical rainforest, and another 1/5 is under secondary forest. And there's just large expanses of fresh water and peat swamps that are found all over. And there's mangrove swamps, and just there's really a huge amount of vegetation, a very green country to visit. Obviously, being in Borneo, being in the Borneo island, it's just a very rich place to be in terms of just like the amount of wildlife there. Now, on this trip, we're going to be able to see the palace of the Sultanate. So the Sultan who lives in Brunei is a billionaire, and you can what the amazing thing about being in Brunei, there's a certain time of year, it's just after Eid or around Eid, that they celebrate, where you can the Sultan invites all the people that live in the country and any tourists that want to come to a feast, and you come and you can visit his palace, and you even get to shake his hand. So if you time your visit to Brunei correctly, you could shake hands with the Sultan, which is really an amazing experience, one that I would go back to do. But besides proboscis monkeys, there's a large variety of animals: leaf monkeys, pig-tailed macaws, gibbons, sun bears, sambar deer, pangolins, bats, and many other mammals. And of course, the most notable birds are the Argus pheasants and hornbills. And on this boat cruise here, we're going to see one of the reptiles, which is one of the crocodiles. But you can also find reticulated pythons that inhabit the swamps and woodlands. Now, the official language here is Brunei. In Brunei is Malay, with English as another major second language. Now, Brunei's population is predominantly Sunni Muslim, although there are Chinese who follow Buddhism, and there's even a church in Brunei as well. Now, I want to tell you a little fun fact about Brunei, which I learned. I'm a king of finding obscure facts, and this one made me. It was always something I remember. So I remember learning in school somewhere that Brunei owned a cattle ranch in Australia, which was bigger than the country itself. So Brunei is about 5,860 square kilometers in size. Oh, sorry. The cattle ranch was 5,860 square kilometers, and the size of Brunei is 5,765 square kilometers. So I always found that funny that that cattle ranch that they owned to import meat, because of the country being so small, they would import all the meat and beef and lamb to Brunei with that farm they owned in Australia. But the fact that it was bigger than their own country, I always found amusing. However, that's no longer the case. In 2013, Brunei sold it off, and they started selling it, and then it was sold off in 2014. But they still own another farm in Australia, but it's not as big. So, fun fact about Brunei. Yeah, so no trip to Brunei is complete without coming and taking the Brunei mango river tour. Susan says, I was fascinated when the Sultan came to the UK for the Commonwealth conferences in his national dress. We've had a glimpse of the palace earlier. At the end of the boat cruise, we're gonna have another glimpse. There's the proboscis monkeys again, and we're going to have he has being a billionaire, I think he has like 600 different cars, Rolls Royce among those. We're gonna have a look. We're gonna spot a crocodile, and it's near the palace. So it's gonna come up soon. So Brunei, of course, has its own airline, the Royal Brunei Airlines. That's who I flew with. A very short flight. I think the flight itself was about 25 minutes from Koto Kinabalu. Yeah, I think this jetty, or one of the jetties, connects to the palace. if this is where the crocodile is, I'm pretty sure it connects up to where the palace is. You can, when it's not the time where the Sultan invites everyone into the palace, you can still go to the gate and take a selfie or something if you wanted to. Yeah, can you see the crocodile? There it is. Oh, so amazing to be in this nature. Satyam says, I know nothing about the Brunei landscape. Well, it's on the island of Borneo, and Borneo itself is split into three pieces. You've got part of it is owned by Indonesia, so it's the Indonesian side. Then part of it is owned by Malaysia, the Malaysian side, and then part of it is the country of Brunei. Okay, so that was our cruise, and now we are going to have a walking tour of the main town. So this is the main city. You can see it's really quiet. Now, it was when I was there. I woke up early in the morning to do this walking tour of the town. It's really tiny. You'll be able to see, and not many people. I saw like hardly anyone, and this is the main town in Brunei. It just shows you how small everything is. So let's begin. I feel like my impression of Brunei is like it's like you know, like they say there's like old money and new money. Like Dubai is like the new money, and I feel like Brunei is like the old money. It doesn't try to show off, but it's still amazing. Like still amazing place with a fascinating history. So we on the main road. We're gonna walk. I'm just gonna show you. We're gonna walk. Just peek inside the museum. This museum you have to visit. It tells the history of how Brunei got so rich from its oil. So we'll walk across the road there. Then they've got a beautiful video inside, which explains the history about the oil companies that came looking for oil at the turn of the 20th, or just before the turn of around in the 20th century, and how they all like struggled to find oil and left. So this is the Brunei Energy Hub Museum. Excellent, world-class museum. And if you just go on the left-hand side, you can enter. And it talks about how Brunei got started and how they found oil. So that's the first place you want to visit when you go to Brunei. Excellent museum, explaining the history, how it got so rich. Here you can see all the places to visit. So we are here, and the next stop is we're gonna have a look at, we're gonna end up, our target point is gonna be the mosque at the end, but we're gonna have a nice little peek now of what we're gonna look at next week. So before, Brunei was a city, like a modern day city like it is today. Most inhabitants for the last hundreds and thousands of years have lived on the water. So we're gonna turn left shortly. Anil's asking, when did I take this trip? This was during Easter time. Are we going to the palace? No. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for the palace opening. But if I was, I would have loved to have gone inside. I could have still gone to the gates of the palace, but we got to see the palace from the boat, which was quite cool. So this is the back of the Energy Hub Museum, which is also the old customs house. You can see it over there. Can you see it there? I think it says HH Customs House. So the old customs house is now the Energy Museum. And so this is where we're going to go next week. And so just for like $1, you can take one of these boats that you can see speeding along here, and you can go to the original Brunei, how everybody used to live. They used to live on these beautiful stilted houses, traditional built houses that you can see here. And we're going to walk along all the jetties. And you'll see they've got a fire station, they've got a school, they've got a mosque, they've got houses, just a beautiful place to walk around. That's what we're going to be doing next week. It's a really amazing and picturesque place to visit. So definitely stick around for next week. Well, when we walk around there, it's well worth it. And I think, yeah. So if you want to visit that area, very easy. You just on the left hand side here is are these little speedboats that come up and down all the time, and you just take it's one about $1, and you can go across and explore. So the currency used in Brunei is called the Brunei dollar, and it's about, I think it's a little bit stronger than the US dollar, but it's like almost 1-to-1. So on our left hand side is the shopping mall, and I'll just tell you a little bit about so the history of the main city of Brunei can be traced back to the establishment of the Malay stilt settlement on the waters of the Brunei River we just saw. And it became the capital of the Bruneian Sultanate from around the 16th century onwards, as well as in the 19th century when it became a British protectorate. The establishment of, this is the one big mall in the whole of Brunei that we're looking at right now. The establishment of the British residency in the 20th century saw the establishment of modern day administration on the land, as well as the gradual resettlement of the riverine dwellers to the land. So before, in the past, most people in Brunei lived on those stilt houses, but during the 20th century, when the British were there, they started moving onto the land as well. And the Sultan's Palace that we saw at the beginning of the tour is the largest residential palace in the world, according to the Guinness World Records. Oh, here we're going to have a look at some of those monkeys. We're really lucky. We're going to get a nice close-up of them. Now, you saw them on the boat. Now, this monkey was not happy with me. This was early in the morning, and this monkey was not happy. I was a little bit nervous, so I've zoomed in a little bit. But this is the main city center, and we're seeing this wildlife, which is amazing. And here's the baby. Now, the reason people go on that boat ride that we did earlier is to see these monkeys, and here we didn't even need to go on the boat ride. We got to see them up close, literally in the city center. I know it was a little bit hard seeing them from the boat, but yeah, this is amazing. This is just, so the boat ride I did the night before, and then in the morning I woke up early, and before it got too hot, and and I love how that little baby monkey jumped from one tree to the other, and then, oh, so sweet. No worries, lethargy. Yeah, so amazing. We got to spot some wildlife. Now we're going to be going to that mosque over there, and I want to give you a little tip if you're visiting Brunei. If you're coming to Brunei, I really recommend that you go to that. If you want to get great photos, go to that mosque just before sunset. It lights up so beautifully, and you can really get some excellent photos. I'll post some on my Facebook group, because I really got some really nice ones. So getting around to the tourist spots here in Brunei is really easy. As you can see, you can literally just walk around the town. Everything is so close. Here's another angle of the stilted houses. We will be going there next week. And then as we round the corner, we will visit the mosque. And there's also a beautiful bike path, and even a frame that they've put there to take photos. So we're heading to the Sultan Omar Mosque. It's free to visit. It is just, there are certain times when it's closed, so it's best to check online to make sure that you go at a time. There you can see, I think that's the King's Palace over there. Can you see that golden dome? That's the King's Palace, largest residential palace according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So we're walking here along the waterfront, like the little bit of a green belt here, making our way to the mosque. And here the little, yeah, I was one of the highlight of being in Brunei for me was breaking fast at the mosque, and the people that there at the mosque that we're going to were so friendly. And it was just a highlight. Just, you know, like, it was just a really special moment. Because they hadn't eaten the whole day because they were fasting, and our guide was like, "Come along, come. They'll have some food with us. Sit down." And we'll just wait till sunset and share some food together. And it was also nice just to try the local food as well. So yeah, wherever you are in the main city, you'll be able to you'll be able to see, depending on your angle, you should be able to see the mosque. It is pretty huge. There you can see the frame is coming into view. Let me tell you a little bit more about the mosque. So it's it's a major historical site and a place of worship and a popular tourist destination in Brunei. It was built in 1958 and is named after the 28th Sultan of Brunei. Dominates the skyline because, of course, this is even though it's the capital of Brunei, still it's quite a small capital, it's quite a small country, so easy. Lethargy says, did you observe Ramadan while you're there? No, I didn't, but I did. Yeah, it was just cool to be able to take part in that, and them to be so open was quite amazing. Yeah, so it's a symbol of Islamic faith in the country, and it's actually, we'll get to see, it's built on an artificial lagoon. This is one thing I've noticed in Malaysia. They have these beautiful mosques that are all built on the water, and they just makes them look really picturesque. Great for photos, and just very inviting. So it's built on an artificial lagoon on the banks of the Brunei River, and it's got beautiful marble minarets and golden domes, and it's considered as one of the most beautiful mosques in Asia Pacific. Look at that. Non-Muslims can enter the mosque except during prayer time. When visiting the mosque, visitors are advised to adhere to the dress code. I went to another mosque here, even more just a stunning mosque, and they gave you clothes to wear and everything you needed. So here's the frame. Oh, so this is Tish. This is an art park. There's actually like an art park area. If we were to go to the left, there's like a little bicycle lane. If we were to just carry on going left, there's like a beautiful selection of sculptures, and these flowers are like the beginning of that. They also had this little market set up during the evening, where you could try local food. But as you can see, it was Ramadan, everybody was very tired. So during the day it was all quiet. Yeah, so when it's not so hot, this is public park facing the Brunei River, which is near the mosque. It's a popular place for locals who want to engage in some physical activity, enjoy the sunset, or just lounge around and enjoy the view. This is a nice place to come. Oh, Satyam is asking me, did the frame remind you of Cape Town? Yes, so Cape Town, we've got a lot of these frames. And also when I saw it, it reminded me of the Dubai frame, except the Dubai frame is massive, and this one is like a miniature version. But this one is like the ones we have in Cape Town, which are there to frame the most important like angles and tourist attractions that you can visit. So everything is really well signposted. You can literally just walk around, like we are right now just walking around the city center. It tells you can just walk DIY, walk around yourself, learn about the different places you're walking around to, and it's very easy, a very walkable town. So we're gonna, yeah, we could get a nice view now of the mosque on this artificial lagoon that they've created. Just, oh man, it just looks like something out of a movie. I will post some. Oh, your nephew's in Cape Town. That's awesome. Anil's just said, what is the town called? So the name of the town is it's quite difficult to pronounce. So it's called Bandar Seri Begawan. So it's quite a mouthful, but it's the capital of Brunei. So they've got this boat on the lagoon, and oh man, I'll be posting a picture of the sunset here because it really is spectacular. And one of the places, if we would just walk, we don't go there, but I will show you some pictures of the interior. One of the places you want to visit is the Royal Regalia Museum, and this museum talks about like when the Sultan became the current Sultan, and they've kept all the regalia from his inauguration. So it's really just a amazing museum. Also gifts that have been given from countries across the world. I was very happy to see South Africa was represented. There was a massive, beautifully decorated ostrich egg that South Africa had given. So it's cool to be somewhere else in another country and see how your country is represented. That was pretty cool to be able to see that. Hello, Marianne. There's another beautiful shot of the mosque. No, it doesn't look like it. Even though it was early in the morning, it was extremely hot. So I decided not to walk all the way. I was gonna finish the tour at the Royal Regalia Museum, but instead we're gonna finish it here at the mosque. And what I've done is I've taken some pictures, and so I'll just show you some pictures inside the Royal Regalia Museum to give you a sense of what it's like in there. And when we go up, that means it's time to go to the Royal Regalia Museum. So let's go. Here's some pictures inside. This is the main hall. There we go. So the Royal Regalia Museum was officially opened in September of 1992. The museum houses several collections of regalia from the Sultan and royalty, crowns embedded with jewels, artifacts used for royal ceremonies, as well as exhibits related to the commemorations of the silver and golden jubilee. And it's just stunning inside. So this is when you walk in. What you see, got some more pictures. So this is just the entrance of the museum. I'm gonna pull up another one. This is from, I believe this is from the inauguration. So you've got everybody, these are the clothes that everybody wore, and where the Sultan was on top of this massive golden carriage. The main things of the exhibit are those, and then gifts from various countries. Yeah, so that's a little introduction to Brunei. So we started off with our boat ride through the beautiful tropical area. We were able to see the palace and even some wildlife, and then we just took about a circular walk around the city of Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei. Now next week you saw them this week. You saw those little houses on the stilts on the water. That was what Brunei used to be before, for hundreds of years before the people moved to the mainland, and we're going to be learning about that history next week. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I will post some more pictures, especially of the mosque at sunset, on the Facebook group if you want to check those out. Cindy's asking, is it a safe place to visit? Yes, felt very safe. There weren't, to be honest, like you could see, that was the capital. That was me walking around in the morning at about 8:30. Very quiet, but very safe. And yeah, beautiful place to visit. And nice thing about it, reminded me of being in Ethiopia, where there weren't that many tourists. So just walking around, you got to know all the other tourists, you got to know even all the other tour guides, you got to know everyone. It has a really cool, if you intimate experience, which is really nice. Matt and the monkey. So yeah, if you're not part of the Facebook group, feel free to join. Link is on my YouTube channel. If you want to get alerts for upcoming tours, subscribe, or I also send out an email on buy me a coffee once every 2 months. I will be going, once I finish I think I've got about 2 or 3 more tours that are pre-recorded. We're going to go to Brunei, and then we're going to go back. We're going to do a tour in Cambodia of Angkor Wat, the main temple, and then after that I'll be doing live tours again in Hong Kong. So yeah, that's what we've got to look forward to. Yeah, thanks so much all of you for joining. It was great to see you all, and yeah, see you soon. Thanks Satyam, Marianne, Neil, Lynn, Susan, Elizabeth, Laura. I know my dad's also here. Thanks. Yeah, thank you all for joining, Neil. And I will see you soon. Oh, and just if you wanted to know, you do need a visa. I needed a visa to visit, but it was very easy to organize and not very expensive. And I literally got my friend to organize the visa for me before I left. So yeah, I'm so glad I got to tick this one off the bucket list and be able to share it with you. Till next time, keep exploring, keep curious, and I'll see you soon.